if the electrode is inert like platinum or gold, okay, which do not take part, as at anode oxidation is happening, the one with the lower reduction potential. So it's very simple. At cathode what is happening? Na plus accepts electron to form sodium metal, copper is accepting electrons to form copper solid and gets deposited at cathode. Hello my dear students, welcome back to session 5 on the chapter electrochemistry. Last class we studied about the electrolytic cells, about the Faraday's law of electrolysis, that is two laws, first law and the second law, and we also solved some of the numericals. Today we shall learn about the products of electrolysis. So before I go into examples, generally I will tell what are the conditions which can change the products of electrolysis. Okay. So the first, product of electrolysis depends on nature of the material being electrolyzed and the type of electrode used. So what is the solution which is undergoing electrolysis, and also what is the type of the electrode what we have used will vary the product. That is first thing. If the electrode is inert like platinum or gold, okay, which do not take part in the reaction at all, they behave like a source of sink alone, okay, sink for electrons, that's all. There is no taking part of these electrodes in the reaction. That is when we are using an inert electrode. Now by chance, if the electrode is reactive, okay, it participates in the electrode reaction, thus the product of electrolysis may be different when we use a reactive electrode or when we use a inert electrode. So the type of electrode can be the main reason for the difference in the product of electrolysis. That is one point. Next is, the product of electrolysis depends on different oxidizing and reducing species present in the electrolytic cell, and they are standard reduction potential. So now for example, in cathode, okay, there are two ions which is coming, that is the cation comes towards cathode, correct? There are two cations which is competing to come towards the cathode. So which is the one which is getting liberated at cathode? The one with the higher reduction potential is preferred to be liberated at cathode, because at cathode reduction is happening. We require the ones with the higher reduction potential to be liberated. As at anode oxidation is happening, the one with the lower reduction potential will be preferred. Okay, this is when there are competing ions. There are two or more ions which is coming towards the cathode or anode. The one which is getting liberated at cathode is, just remember this way, cathode we have high reduction potential processes happening, and at anode low reduction potential process will take place. Okay. Some of the electrochemical cells, although if it is feasible, okay, that is theoretically that reaction can occur, but practically that is not occurring because it is kinetically slow reaction which requires an extra voltage to get liberated. Okay, so at that lower voltage these don't seem to take place, and an extra potential called over potential has to be applied, which makes such process difficult to occur. Now these are some of the factors on which the products of electrolysis is dependent. Now we'll take few examples to understand all of these factors. Okay, the first one is electrolysis of fused sodium chloride. That is, you take sodium chloride which is melted. We call it as fused sodium chloride. You have not added any water at all. You have only two types of ions, that is Na plus ion and Cl minus ion. So sodium ions is a cation, goes towards the cathode, and the chloride ions is anion, goes towards the anode. So we have sodium ion coming towards cathode from molten NaCl, which is also called as fused NaCl. Okay. So sodium ion comes towards cathode, Na plus accepts an electron to get deposited as sodium, and at anode Cl minus liberates electron to get liberated itself as chlorine gas. So chlorine gas is getting liberated at anode. So there is no confusion here. There are only two ions which is possible, one cation and one anion. Okay. So thus, on the account of electrolysis of fused sodium chloride, sodium is obtained at cathode and chlorine gas is liberated at anode. So it's very simple. At cathode, what is happening? Na plus accepts electron to form sodium metal. Oxidation is taking place to form chlorine gas, which is getting liberated. Now, if we take a concentrated aqueous solution of NaCl, and if that undergoes electrolysis, then what is happening? Now, for example, you are taking NaCl solution, you are taking, correct? No? So, we have Na plus ion, Cl minus ion, H plus ion, OH minus ion. Now, from where this H plus and OH minus came? It is from water, because you are taking a concentrated solution of sodium chloride. You are taking NaCl and dissolving in water. So, you have all of these ions which is there. So, you have two cations and two anions. Now, there is a small competition for which is going to get liberated at cathode and which is going to get liberated at anode. So, first, at cathode, there is a competition between the following reduction reactions. Which are those? Na plus will accept electron to form sodium, and E naught of the cell is minus 2.71 volt, and H plus ion can accept electron to get liberated as hydrogen gas, and E naught of the cell is 0.00 volt. I told you already, at cathode, which reaction will be preferred? The one which is having higher reduction potential. So, minus 2.71 volt is higher or 0.0 volt is higher? Of course, 0.0 is higher than minus 2.71. So, hydrogen gas will be liberated at cathode, because when we compare the reduction potential of these two reactions, the one with the higher reduction potential will be preferred at cathode. Okay. So, the reaction with the higher value of E naught is preferred and hydrogen gas will be liberated. But of course, that's not the way we write the reaction. It is from water. Water accepts electron, hydrogen gas is liberated and OH minus is formed. This is the way actual reaction is happening. Okay. Now, at anode we have, which are the two ions? It is chloride ion, that is anion we have, and OH minus ion. Of course, OH minus ion, we do not write the reaction. We write it as from H2O only. Okay. So, chloride can liberate electrons and form chlorine gas, and for that the potential is minus 1.36, and water, that is OH minus or water, will liberate oxygen gas, H plus ion and electron. For that, E naught of the cell is minus 1.23 volts. Now, according to the values which is there over here, we know that anode, the preferred reaction is with the lower reduction potential, and the lower reduction potential is minus 1.323 volts compared to minus 1.36 volt. So, what has to get liberated? Oxygen has to get liberated, but this is not happening because oxygen, this particular reaction, if you see, it is kinetically slow and it requires over potential. So, practically if you see, it is chlorine gas which is getting liberated. Why? Because oxygen gas to get liberated, or for this reaction to occur at anode, there is an over potential which is required. Okay. So, the reaction at anode with the lower value of E0 is preferred, and therefore water should get oxidized, preference to chloride. But on the account of what? Over potential of oxygen, what is getting liberated? Chlorine is getting liberated. Thus, I can write the net reaction as NaCl will give Na plus and Cl minus. So, at cathode what is happening? Water accepts electron to liberate hydrogen gas and OH minus. At anode, Cl minus will liberate as chlorine gas and liberate electrons, and overall net reaction I can write it as NaCl with water. Okay, that is here you can see, you add all these three reactions. Okay, chlorine and chlorine gets cancelled, and we have water and NaCl which I have written. Then we have Na plus, then we have OH minus, then hydrogen gas is getting liberated, chlorine gas is getting liberated, electrons and electrons also get cancelled. So, this is the overall reaction what I have written here. Okay. So, what is getting liberated at anode? It is chlorine gas which is getting liberated at anode, and hydrogen gas which is getting liberated at cathode. Again, to summarize, I have just put a small diagram for you all. If I take concentrated solution of NaCl at cathode, H plus and Na plus can come, and what will happen? H plus ion can accept electron and get liberated as hydrogen gas. So, at cathode what is getting liberated? Hydrogen gas. At anode, chlorine will liberate electrons and form chlorine gas, and thus chlorine will be liberated here. And we have OH minus ion which is left, and Na plus ion which is left behind in the solution. Thus, a concentrated sodium chloride solution turns into sodium hydroxide solution, because chlorine is getting liberated, hydrogen is getting liberated, and what we have remaining in the solution is Na plus and OH minus. Okay. So, that's about the electrolysis of the concentrated NaCl solution. Next, we will see about the electrolysis of copper sulfate solution. Here, I have taken copper sulfate solution, but the electrode what we took here is carbon electrode. Both are carbon electrode. Same copper sulfate solution, when electrolysis happened using copper electrode. When we use impure copper and pure copper electrode, the reaction was different, isn't it? There what happened? Copper from anode started dissolving and it got deposited as pure copper at cathode. Correct? Which I have explained already for you all. Now, there is a change in the electrode, that's all. What we have done? I have changed the electrode, same copper sulfate solution itself, but the electrode used is the carbon electrode, which is inert here. Okay? This is inert. Carbon electrode is inert. It is not taking part in the reaction. Okay? So, what will happen here is, I have Cu plus 2 ions, correct? And of course, from the solution I have H plus ions, but then what will happen? Copper is accepting electrons to form copper solid and gets deposited at cathode. So, at cathode there is a reduction reaction which is happening, that is copper ions is accepting 2 electrons to get deposited as copper metal. Okay, but when it comes to anode, what is the anions I have? I have OH minus ions from water, and also I have sulfate ions from copper sulfate. Say I took copper sulfate, so I have Cu plus 2 ions and SO4 2 minus ions. Also water do OH minus ions also I have. So OH minus ion and sulfate ion I have, out of which reaction will happen? That is Water liberates oxygen gas, hydrogen and electron. So, what is getting liberated at anode? It is oxygen gas which is getting liberated at anode, because sulfate ions is not feasible here. The one with the lower reduction potential will be possible, and this is the one reaction with the lower reduction potential. So, change in electrode, you see there is so much difference, isn't it? When I took just copper sulfate solution and took impure and pure copper, I took, this is anode, this is cathode. So, this is impure copper we took, here we took pure copper. What is happening here? This is dissolving and this here it is getting deposited. That's all is the reaction which is happening. Here what I can write, copper is forming Cu plus 2, liberating 2 electrons. Here Cu plus 2 was accepting 2 electrons to form Cu. There was no role of sulfate ions or water molecules, nothing. That's all was there when we used impure copper electrode and pure copper electrode. Whereas for the same copper sulfate solution, when the electrode was changed, you can see at cathode it is the deposition of copper metal only what is happening, but at anode oxygen gas started getting liberated. So change in electrode also will change the products which is formed. Yes, I hope you have understood this. Next is electrolysis of sulfuric acid. In sulfuric acid, what are the ions which we get? H2SO4 can give H plus ion and SO4 2 minus ion, and water, if it is a dilute solution, you can get H plus ion and OH minus ion. So, common, irrespective of whether it's concentrated sulfuric acid or a dilute sulfuric acid, you are going to get hydrogen gas at cathode, because we have only one cation which is there. Okay, so hydrogen gas will be liberated. But when it comes to anode, we have these two reactions which is possible. Either water will liberate oxygen gas, okay, and the potential is minus 1.23 volt here, and sulfate ion can form S2O8 2 minus, liberating 2 electrons, okay, and the voltage is 1.96 volt here. Now, what happens here is, if it is a dilute sulfuric acid solution, then oxygen will get liberated, okay, for dilute sulfuric acid. But if it is a concentrated sulfuric acid solution, then formation of peroxodisulfuric acid, H2S2O8 will happen. So, change in the material which is undergoing electrolysis also changes the product. So, if you are using a dilute sulfuric acid, at cathode hydrogen gas and at anode oxygen gas you will get. If you are electrolyzing a concentrated sulfuric acid, at cathode hydrogen gas we will get, but what is formed at anode? You will get H2S2O8, that is peroxodisulfuric acid will be formed. So, I hope you have understood the products of electrolysis. How if you change the electrode, the products will change. How if you change the material, that is the solution which is undergoing electrolysis, the product can change. Also, you have understood the concept of overpotential, and when there are competing ions going towards cathode and anode, which is the reaction which is getting preferred. I hope you have understood all these concepts. Next class we will be learning about nature of the material, then magnitude of the conductivity and measurement of the conductivity of ionic solution. Okay. So, thank you my dear children. Stay tuned, stay focused.